Well, I had my first breakdown. We were heading down to the river. We had the canoe on. We got to the river, and oh, I forgot the battery. I wanted to test a electric trolling motor on the canoe, and so let's head back home and grab that real quick. So we headed back home, and then halfway back again, she just started quitting and quitting and quitting until it quit altogether. It sounded like it was running out of fuel. There is fuel in the filter ball, but we're gonna have to diagnose some stuff here. And you know, I'm not a mechanic, and I'm just gonna fumble my way through it and see if we can't figure out what this fuel issue is. Maybe even confirm that it is fuel. So let's take a look and see how this carburetor's hooked up. And you know, I'm not even sure what's going on with this. You know, maybe a boat motor, or sorry, a boat tank isn't the right solution here. But let's go over a fuel system and see if we can't get this girl running. I had to leave the canoe down at the river, hidden in the woods there, and hopefully no one finds it. Anyways, let's start hacking away at this thing and, I don't know, see if we can learn something. Give it a try. All right, let's check out the existing fuel system on this. Originally, there would have been a gas tank inside the seat with a line running up to the carburetor for fuel, but the original's long gone, so you know, someone's tossed a boat tank on here. One thing a lot of people forget to do with a boat tank is loosen off the vent valve on the cap, and you can see this tank is actually caved in right now, probably because when I tightened this last time it was hot out, so you know, it's kind of like at its full size. Now that it's cooled off in the garage overnight, let's see if it makes a bit of a hiss and changes the shape of this tank. Well, definitely a lot of hissing going on there, but it didn't change the shape of the tank. But if this was closed and it was sitting out in the hot sun, this would pop up like a balloon. So the first thing I thought was, oh, maybe I left the vent valve tightened in, and then eventually gas is not going to run through the line. Even with the vacuum of the carburetor pulling it in, it's just not going to run through because it's just going to suck this tank down, and no gas is going to, you know, get through. But normally I would think then, well, no, not necessarily. I was thinking, well, then the filter would probably be empty, right? But no, not necessarily. That whole line could be full of fuel still. There's just not enough, you know, suction up there in the carb to overcome the lack of air in the tank. You know, it's all pressurized now. It's all vacuumed back that way. There's more vacuum going back to the tank than there is up to the carburetor. So I've opened that valve now. I'll you know what, I'm actually gonna try to start it once, I suppose. But hey, here's a thing I learned. You know, remember I was all concerned that there's no wire attached to the hood so that the hood doesn't flop over and break off and stuff. Well, duh, it's meant to just come off. That's what it's meant to do. So with that off and out of the way, life is going to be a lot easier. All right, so let's take a look at a few things. I wouldn't, you know, just a suggestion, I wouldn't, because this, well, I'll describe something that happened to me. I wouldn't really tend to like drop the nut there and try to take everything off, just in case something slides, it goes down the carburetor. I'm not going to take a chance, so, you know, put it elsewhere. Because what actually happened to me one time, I had a really rare 68 or 69 Rough Rider, 6-wheel drive Rough Rider. And I got it home. By the time I got home, it was dark, and I don't know what, I had to take the exhaust manifold off for some reason off the back of the cylinder, and the cylinder sat on like a big angle. So when I pulled the pipe off the top, I put it aside, I couldn't see this and that. When I went to put it back on, I put the one nut on to hold, well, the other nut was missing. I was like, well, where'd that go? So I went to my toolbox and got another one. It's dark, I figured it dropped down in there. Well, what it had done is it had dropped in the exhaust port of the engine. So, of course, I go ahead and pull the engine over, and she fires right up, just like brand new, and screech! And that was the end of that motor. The nut got itself into the cylinder and just destroyed everything. And man, I was sad. You know how excited you are when you get a new project home? and then you just do something stupid and destroy it. So boy, did I ever learn a lesson. So hopefully that, you know, hopefully that'll help somebody in the future. All right, let's get this off. Oh, I see there's 2 screws, I guess, that have to, yeah, must have to come off first. So let's do that. Going to close off the choke too, just to help with the risk factor of one of these nuts going down, or one of these bolts going down into the carburetor. And away with you. Okay. Oh, now what's holding it up? So many tubes and vents and this and that. There it goes. There we go. All right, let's see what we've got here. We got a nice new fuel line. It looks like comes up. It's interesting. A lot of things like this isn't even being used anymore. But the choke looks like it's stock. Maybe the throttle is not so stock. I don't really know what, but it's loose and that would have fallen off. So let's give it a little tighten just to make sure it never comes off, and I might need that again someday. So I don't see anything obvious. At first I thought, well, I know there wouldn't be a leak in the fuel line because I would have gas all over the place. I opened the hood and took a look, and there was no fuel coming out anywhere. The other thought I had was, all right, so this gas tank is sitting lower than the carburetor up there. So, you know, how is fuel going to go uphill? Well, the only way it can go uphill is if it's pushed. So with a pump, or on a boat, what they would do is have like a primer ball that would push the gas into the carburetor. There is a gas valve, but that's open, so that's not a problem. I can't believe I didn't check that right away, but it's open, so that's not the deal. You know what I'm going to try doing is just starting it real quick first and just see. I hope it doesn't start, because then my dilemma is going to be, well, now what am I going to do because it's running again? Well, I know this is going to happen again sometime. I can't be stranded on the side of the road everywhere I go. So let's just hook up the battery cable here and give her a kick. The rope I towed it home with the quad. At least the tow is nice and easy and neutral. All right. So let's put the choke on, maybe all the way. And give the key to, let's turn it, yeah, we got voltage. Looks like only 10.5 volts, but we'll see what happens here. Look for safety things, anything all in the way, anything gonna catch on fire? Probably not. All right, let's go. Oh no! Oh, it quit again. Okay, so that sounds like fuel to me. Let's try it again real quick. Yeah. It's running fine. All right. Not going to be much of a fix-it clip now, is it? Because what it probably was vapor lock. It was hot as all get out yesterday,
And yeah, there was a lot of heat blowing off this engine, and I'm just wondering if it vapor locked in here. One thing I can fix is this lead. Now every time I drive it, this lead pops off, and then it won't start. The key won't do anything. I kind of liked it that way, so that if we're gone out in the lake or something with the canoe, no one's going to come along and just, start her up and take off. They're never going to figure this out. It sits there like that. You're never going to notice. But I noticed it, so I always just stick it back on. But you know what? It's starting to get to be a nuisance, so I'm going to pinch these together. I'll just take the key with me when I leave the machine. Other thing I have to do is put a keeper nut on here. Last time I was riding, this turned itself off, and then of course I had no clutch control on this side with the steering wheel. It's hard to demonstrate when it's not running because the sheaves on the secondary won't open, and so it doesn't really move that much. But it's not so much I'm going to tighten the nut on, so much as I'm going to tighten it against the other nut. So, tighten them together. Alright, I'm going to need a couple of wrenches. A 1/2 inch wrench from like World War I. And then a brand new one. And the one from World War I will probably last longer. Just tighten them together. Yoink, yoink. Alright, personally though, I think I should really have a plunger ball in this line to push gas up. Maybe on a vapor lock. Can you push the vapor through? If I used a primer ball, will it like shoot that gas out of the way so the real gas can get through the engine? I don't even know. But let's see if I got one. Well, not so much. Really? See, this is my life. Everything gets hooked onto everything I walk anywhere near. I'm thinking just a couple of screws. There it goes. Offsy daisy. I'm not sure the line is supposed to be a hard plastic anyway. Maybe, so that when you stand on it and stuff in a boat, you're good. But there's no way that's going to come off. I'm going to have to cut it and cut that. Grab some snips. Oh yeah, this is hard plastic, so probably to put it back on, I'm going to have to heat it. There it goes. Why the fuck did I do that? I just cut off the wrong piece. That was just dumb. I really wouldn't recommend using a lighter to warm up a gas line, because even though this thing is 52 years old, there could be some gas in there. Before I forget, I'm just going to run the hose clamp on the line in case I get all excited and go to snap that on and I forget the hose clamp. It's just easier to run it down there. Then I don't have to undo it, spread it, do all that thing. Alright. It's going to take a minute because this is pretty thick fuel line, really thick. Not a mechanic, just figuring things out as I go, giving things a try. If they don't work, oh well, won't try that again. It's really hot, but no, it's flexible. Let's try that. Maybe it's already there. A little hot. Ow, on the fingers. I need gloves. I'll just use a rag. It's going. It was going until I pull it back out again. I think it's sucking the rag in. There we go. I can endure a little pain. Look at that, eh? Alright, so that's what you gotta do if you're a clod. You cut the wrong bit off. Alright, put that back on now. Alright, now where was I? Oh yeah, I was cutting this end off. Okay, so don't lose that. This end I might as well just cut off too, because heat it up with the gun and just pull it off. Okay, again, this is a plastic fuel line, not a rubber fuel line. If it was rubber, I would just cut it with an X-Acto knife or a blade and knife. There it goes. Voila. Kind of turns to rubber when it's hot. You know, there's a chance that this was rubber, and just with age it kind of turned, you know, hard like plastic, and just heating it up brings back its flexibility. I don't know. All right. But anyway, now I got a plunger ball. Which way does it go? That way it must. There should be an arrow on it. Yep, there's an arrow. So I got to hack this into place here. Now, does it matter if it's in front of the fuel filter or behind it? I would think you can push. If you can't push fuel through the filter, then your filter's clogged anyway. So I'm going to just set it right in here, so it's not all down in my feet or anything. Yeah, and this is temporary. I got a fuel system I have planned that's going to be a lot nicer than this. This is just because I'm impatient and I just want to ride, and so I am. So if I just cut that line in two and put that in the middle, this is not even a guaranteed fix for my problem. Alright, now, you know what, I'm going to take this off. I'm just not going to do this on the gas tank. So, one screw. There, that wasn't so bad. I got it though. I got to get these spread out with heat, which I don't mind doing now. I'm not going to blow some if I catch these on fire. No big deal. So I don't really need a camera for that. I'll run over away from the machine, heat these up. Oh, that worked out wonderfully. Just put a little heat to the tube, and it just goes all nice and soft and not that hard to twist it on. Throw a hose clamp on. Alright, and we'll get the other one warmed up. Alright, it really doesn't need much heat, just a little bit. And the neat thing is it just burns those little hairs right off that were being a nuisance before. Alright, let's drop that on. You can still see, yep. Ooh, what's this guy all about? Why is that off? That's the factory clamp. You know what? That's a problem. Because now I got to put another clamp on that. Alright, while I was over there, I got an actual socket for these things. And this clamp is a little bit, oh, it's a little bit perfect. Okay, I thought it was going to be, and it's lined up with the other ones, you know, in case we're doing a concourse, you know, bush swamper show somewhere. Alright, one down. Let's see if this is still soft enough to put on. If not, I'm going to have to go heat it again. I think it's going to make it. There we go. I should have maybe heated it a little bit, but it's going on plenty. That's plenty good enough. Perfect. Here we go. Inline fuel ball. Okay, I think I gotta go track down one more hose clamp. You know, if anyone just sort of found this channel on a whim and you're just looking at, you know, turning screwdrivers and wrenches and different things, just know that this is kind of fun. If you just start doing it, it's certainly not going to be life altering if you screw up. It's like when we were kids, we played with Meccano, and you know, you turn nuts and bolts and you made dumb little things, little cars and things. And this is just the exact same thing, just a little bit bigger, and you got to be a little more careful because now there's fuel and explosives involved. But hey, what could go wrong with explosives? So I'm just thinking maybe if I give this a little squirt, we should see a little action going on in this filter, which looks 7,000 years old. So I should really probably change this filter. I did see another one up there on the shelf. Believe it or not, I found a filter up there. But let's give it a squirt and see if anything happens inside the bulb. Well, I hear noise. Be honest with you, I don't think it's working. It says fuel flow that way. There's an arrow, so we know I've done it right. The valve is open. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull this clamp off. Why didn't I just do that before? In fact, I'll take the I'll take this one was the easy one. I'll take that off and just put a little cup under it and see if it's pushing fuel through. All right, so I'm going to put this jar in front of this line and give the ball a little squirt. And look at that, nothing. It is not pulling fuel out. So now I'm back to wondering, now I'm back to wondering if the, what do you call it, the down tube, I guess I would call it, the down tube from the fuel inlet fitting, which would be a fuel outlet fitting to the experts, has fallen off. Maybe it's floating around in the tank, or has a hole in it or something. So now I want to see how you get that out. Is it just a press fit or is it screwed? But there's definitely no fuel flowing. That's no good. That's no good. That should be pumping. That should be. So I'm thinking this probably just jams itself down in there. That probably just jammed itself in. So, well, maybe this is going to be a topic after all, right? And there goes my GoPro. Now it turns, but it doesn't unscrew, right? Or does it? Oh, it does. It unscrews out of there. Good thing I didn't just yank on it. Alright, so there definitely is a tube going down in there. Definitely it's pushing air. Let's just put it in some gas here again and try it just loose like this. Maybe how far does this go in? Maybe the gas level's too low. No, it's way down into the gas there. That's not working. So maybe the plunger ball's no good. How about this? Just, wipe that off and do it old school and just blow air in there and see if it goes through. I'll leave my finger off the end at first here. That is a sealed system. So this plunger ball is not working then, because it's just not pulling anything. Okay, well I found two more. How about that? And I couldn't get them apart, so I just brought them both. There we go. Those come off pretty easy. I guess you can reuse those. Little plastic clips. Not sure if you can see there, but like there's teeth, and one kind of slides into the other and the teeth grab and then they're tight. Probably going to have to heat these up to get them off. Well, that's kind of great. This one doesn't have a direction arrow on it that I can find. There's color coding, but that might just be from age. I don't know. I think I can hook up some tubing to it and just drop it down in the gas and see if that works. Alright, before I get this all back together, let's maybe give it a test, Stick it in the gas and get that jar and try it again. Okay, let's try that. Oops, I can't. I just can't do anything. Okay, can you see that? I don't know. Here we go. That's fuel. That is fuel. Okay, so the other pump is just wrecked, so I'll throw that one out. I should call it a primer ball, I suppose. All right, let's hook this guy all back up again. Get that in its right spot. Let's put this down in there just so nothing falls in. Okay. Yeah, the clamp can go on after. Lovely. That's plenty. I did say I was going to change that filter, didn't I? So that one's probably been kicking around for decades. Probably came in a box from the auction, and I'm finally getting to use it. Really? It's stuck on the end. Okay. Okay, gas direction. There is an arrow right on it there. Maybe can't see it because of the bright light, but well, one thing to keep in mind now is there is no fuel going into that carb, so this is where I would totally want to pump up the pressure. Let's see if I can actually see anything in that filter. Oh yeah, it's full. 2 pumps, filter full. Good. Okay, give it a pump. Chokes closed. Batteries hooked up. Make sure both transes are in neutral in case she takes off. Alright, well now I don't really know if I fixed anything, but next time it's hot out, I'm running it a lot and it shuts down, I know I didn't fix anything. If it doesn't shut down, I fixed it. Anyway, fuel system looked at on the wood swapper. I didn't get to get into the carburetor. Kind of lucky for that. I really didn't want to get into the carb. I'll do that another time if I need to. Alright, shut her down. So yeah, if that fails on me again, it quits it on the road or on the trailer, whatever, I'll give that primer ball a try. That's, you know, I did take the lid off and I did squirt a little engine start in and it didn't work, but that didn't work for me before too, but once I got gas to it, it did work. So I don't know, maybe this doesn't like engine start for some reason, quick start. But at least I know now I can push gas through. And maybe, you know what, someone's going to know. Someone's going to say, someone's going to comment down below that, listen, you, if you got vapor lock, you can't push it through with the ball. It's just going to be, you know, I don't know. I don't even know if I should put this video up until I try. You know, I'm going to be going down to pick up the canoe now, so I guess I'll find out right quickly if it's going to run. Yoink. And yoink. Alright, let's see if we can get this puppy started.
What do you think of that?